Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. Leo Avraham, RJ. I've got chicken, and hold on. Oil, and then I had this is my I use this for my grapefruit fruit meal with some sour cream and honey, and I just reused it. So it's got the sour cream in there with some honey and olive oil. It's very good. What's up, Jim? Mr. Mod, Jim the Mod Fleece. We are just hanging out. I have a late start tomorrow, so I figured I would stream for a few hours. Um, yeah, and grab some more watch time. I should be monetized within the week. Oh, thank you. Little chicken residue. Sometimes the pieces get big and the beard's getting in the way. I've got to get rid of the beard. I was eating the grapefruit with the cream and I was just getting a bunch of cream in my mustache. It's untenable. It needs to be dealt with, and it shall be dealt with. So we are going to take care of that this weekend for sure. And then, yeah, I'll have my jawline back and I'll get the mog on all the normies. So that'll be pretty lit. It'll be pretty lit, pretty fire. Let me make sure my volumes are off. I don't want to spur any. Actually, I need to get my charger. One moment. Be right back. Let me just put it in here for the people. Charge my my main phone, and then I realized I also need to charge my casting device so I can watch Hellsing Ultimate tonight. I'm back. 3 viewers, 3 likes. Off to a fantastic start. Let me go back to live chat actually. Well, none of the wild ones have showed up. I can see. Um, let's see here. Yeah. So what's going on, guys? I thought it was pretty funny. I left the fireplace on for the stream, and people thought I was coming back. But I wasn't. It just was... I was just going to let it play while I watch anime to get some watch time. I'm not a big fan of high meat at all. I like the liver, but that's about it. It's not very good, especially like everything else. It's not palatable. It's not very good. I don't eat it. So, yeah. Not something I'm into. What about you? Do you like high meat? I bet you don't. It tastes like terrible. Would you say it's like another job trying to source and keep fresh food in the fridge ready? No, because I already know where it is, like, to get the foods. So, not a big deal. I mean, at least where I live, it's pretty easy to get food. So, personally, for me, I don't, but I think for some people it can be. Yeah, I really only need to go to the store once a week. If I want other things like oysters or fruit, it might be twice a week, but even for fruit, you know, I can get fruit once a week and it's fine. So, oh wow, these are some good oysters, man. I went to the oyster store today, not the supermarket. Wow, these are really good. King's beard oyster, something like that. I got them because they were the biggest ones. They also are very salty, with a nice metallic finish. Very mineral rich. How many times it can be okay to eat start for how many times in a day if we have anxiety and chronic insomnia? Oh, starch. I guess for starches, it really just depends on how much you need. It's hard to say. A serving of the nut formula is a good place to start, or a baked potato with a lot of cheese and butter and sour cream, maybe some fresh cracked peps for some flavor. You know, but generally you should try to deal with those things with a lot of exercise, mental stimulation, physical stimulation, and a lot of fat and white meat. And if that stuff doesn't work, then do those things. Chronic insomnia. Yeah, I have a video on insomnia, all the things you can do. Suppositories are also another good thing for that. Is it okay to cook our meat if we are very disgusting about the raw meat? Nope, not really. If you need to like start out slow, you can sear it. That's what a lot of people do. And then, I'm talking like 2 seconds, 2 to 10 seconds on a very hot grill. Just sear it, each side. And then, 20 seconds, that's it. And then eat it. You could do that. That's what some people do. Personally, I didn't do that. I'm not a big fan of cooking. You can try sauces in the recipe book. You can try to eat different cuts of steak. To make something more palatable, eating ground beef is not good. So, it's tough. Like, it's tough to eat it. It's because it's not great. So, that's what I recommend. And you just got to get used to it. If you don't want to get used to it and you're not going to do it, this diet is not for you, just do the raw eggs and the raw dairy, and you can keep cooking your meat, I guess, but you're not doing the diet, and that's not going to give you the cellular regeneration you need. That's what the raw meat does. Hello, microwave Capri Sun. Hello. So to get the cellular regeneration, which is the key point of the diet, is to eat the raw meat. If you don't do that, it's not going to help. How's the new school, Capri Sun? Oh, tomorrow? Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Hell. You saying school is hell, Pan? Oh, hello. Yes, hello. Good evening. We got a new Randall Cycle video coming out tomorrow. I had some people requesting that. It's finally coming out. Scheduled for tomorrow at noon, 1 o'clock, something like that. So yeah, that should be okay, I guess. I mean, people wanted it, so I put it out there. A mini insomnia episode yesterday. Yeah, well, it's, a mini insomnia episode isn't a real thing, you understand? Insomnia is like a real thing where, like, you cannot sleep. You just cannot sleep. You had a restless night. That is not mini insomnia. You quit being so dramatic. Grow up, nephew. That can be a problem on the weight loss. So you need to get at least a dozen eggs in a day. That's like the bare minimum baseline for having enough protein as you're sleeping. Yeah, the milk and honey helps. If you're on the weight loss, just a cup of milk before bed is enough. I was doing a cup of milk before bed, and that helped. When I didn't have that, it was a lot harder. But just the cup of milk is going to be enough, okay? It was a pretty light day, honestly. Eggs. Probably about 8 eggs, 9 eggs, some cheese, grapefruit with a cup and a half of sour cream, honey, and then I had dates and cheese, and eating a chicken thigh with some olive oil, sour cream, honey, 5 oysters, and then I'm going to make a milkshake after this, and then I'm going to have milk and honey. So all in all, it'll probably be about 12 eggs today. I have a lot of eggs and dairy, so I'm trying to eat that and instead of buying a lot of meat, because I wasn't working much over the holidays, so I'm budgeting. So I've got one pack of chicken to last me for the whole week. I'm eating just a chicken thigh a day, pretty much. They're pretty big though. But yeah, just doing the eggs and the milk and the dairy. So like, yeah, I mean, having that stuff when you don't have a lot of meat or whatever, it's like I said, it helps you sleep. You get the protein in. What age did I start the diet? I was like 27 and a half, I think. I was halfway through my birth year, and it was 8 years ago. 8 years ago this week, actually. The cheesecake filling is far superior to cheese and honey. Yeah, cheese, butter, honey. I don't like making the cheesecake. It's a lot of extra work, and it doesn't taste that good. So I just eat. I like cheese and cold butter and honey, and I like cold butter and dates and cheese. I don't like eating warm butter. So, yeah. Right now, I'm not doing vegetable juice. Right now, I am eating a grapefruit a day instead. And for me, that is keeping up my appetite. Um, I am getting to the point where I will need some juice, honestly. Before I went and bought some, what was that? New Year's New Year's Day, they didn't have any grapefruit at the store, and I was hankering for some balance to my system, and I didn't get it. So I went the next day and it was buy one get one free grapefruit. So that was awesome. So I got grapefruit. I think I ate 2 grapefruit sundae with a bunch of cream and honey. It's so good. And yeah, the grapefruit's really balancing me out. I'm just kind of lazy, honestly. Also, nothing's really in season, so it's not like my favorite. I do have some parsley I've been growing inside. It's been doing really good. And I'll probably juice some of that with some celery and beets, and maybe some carrots. And yeah, I'll do some vegetable juice soon. I can see myself needing some because I'm going to eat chicken this week, and then I might eat just chicken the next week too. I don't know. We'll see. But when I want to start up eating beef again, or red meat, I'm gonna go get some stuff for juicing. And when I drink juice, I usually tend to drink, for me, 2 cups a day is fine, 2.5. Sometimes I'll drink more. Like I'll do a whole quart in a day sometimes, if I really feel like I need it. But generally, it's 2 cups a day if I'm getting it every day. I used to drink a quart a day, sometimes 6 cups a day. The cheese and butter and honey warmed up and blended. Yeah, I know. I don't like the proportions, and I just don't like how it gets warmed and solidified. I've made cheesecake. I've made the cheesecake before. It was kind of a dud. Maybe I'm just not good at it, but I just prefer to eat the cheese and the honey and the butter together and just make a little cheesecake in my mouth and swallow it. I like doing that. I like it because I can get the texture of the taste and the texture of each ingredient, and I can enjoy like each ingredient, and then I can eat it. And it's like as it is. It doesn't take up as much space in the fridge. I don't have to like make a cheesecake. You have to do all that work to make a cheesecake. I'm just not doing that. Like I said, if I had a woman in my life, it'd be a different story. I would appreciate having cheesecake around most likely, but it's probably not a good foundation for a relationship to just have someone make my food. I just want a woman around to make my food. That's not a solid foundation for a relationship. Mangoes are nice too. Yes, I haven't had a mango in, golly, it's been a while. It's been at least 6 months. I think I had 2 mangoes in the summer. That was it. But yeah, I'm thinking it might be time for some mangoes. I've been thinking about that going into the store. Mangoes are good. Way more absorbable. I don't know about that. I don't think a cheesecake is more absorbable than just eating cheese, butter, and honey. The diet can make you taller, yes. But you have to do the diet. You have to eat the raw meat. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Sorry. You can't cook your food. Well, I shouldn't say that. The fats will help, but it would be better if you could eat everything raw. Thoughts of calling around butchers for extra unpicked up deer, worth the risk or not? I mean, there's no risk. It's just your time. I've never even thought about doing that. Never thought about doing that, but that's a good idea. Worst they can say is no. I can keep appetite with grapefruit, but when I drink veg juice, I feel way better. The ultimate alkalinity in my blood can never be too alkaline. Well, so like your blood... Yeah, I mean, your blood is supposed to be like 7.3, 7.4. If it goes below 7.3, you die pretty much. So your blood's never really like acidic, technically. But I think my vegetable juice needs kind of fell off a cliff because I used to fast a lot. You know, even though I grew up eating cooked food for over 25 years, I fasted for like a year. I did OMAD for like a year. And then there were days where I would do one meal every other day. And I was doing like intense training too. Like I'd ride my bike like, 30 miles and I wouldn't eat that day. So, yeah. But I was drinking like a lot of celery juice too much, and then I discovered, I needed to be doing parsley as well. So yeah, the parsley helped. But in the baths, I was keeping up on the baths as well. 3 years into the diet? Yeah, I started doing the baths, and I've been doing the baths for 5 years now, I think. Yeah, about 5 years. And those all really help speed up the process. But now grapefruit keeps me pretty good. I don't really know that I would feel much better with vegetable juice, honestly. Your needs change as you get older, so... I think Agenus was down to like a few cups every week of juice. I don't know if he was drinking it like every day, like a lot, but he said he was doing like a quart of juice a week or something towards the end of his life. That's like what he needed. And then when he was traveling, he would just eat tomatoes. I think he used to travel with a centrifugal juicer. I could be wrong, but for some reason I remember that because that'd be easier to travel with. But he just ate a lot of tomatoes, and that seemed to help, which tomatoes do help. They are great. But yeah, so it's just like, yeah, your system, it gets gunked up and the juice helps clean it out. So, like I said, I'm bordering on that. The grapefruit's keeping me in the game, but I do need some juice, honestly. Like in a week or two, I'm going to need some juice, especially if I want to eat more red meat. I've been doing my own diet, which is a mix of raw primal and rawprimal. Root vegetables like purple sweet potatoes, onions, carrots, beets, and some dates, pomegranates, or orange juice. God didn't want us to eat above ground veggies. Fruits want to be eaten, though. Okay, good for you. Avoiding PUFA. Maximizing metabolism and thyroid while having a low toxin diet with uncooked meats, eggs, and milk. Okay. We don't have to chew cheese and honey together, blending pre-digested cheese for you, so it's definitely better. I don't know if blending cheese pre-digests it. I don't know if blending cheese pre-digests it. That's a little... Because to pre-digest, you would have to have bacteria to start digesting something. You know what I mean? Blending cheese isn't pre-digesting it. I mean, when I eat cheese, it gets mushy in my mouth. I mush it in my mouth. So it's just mush. It's the same kind of mush that would be in the cheesecake formula, except this would have my saliva in it. So that would technically be more predigestion because I'd have the bacteria in the saliva. But I don't know, maybe it's a little easier, but it's still not worth it for me to do the stuff. I mean, like, pateing your meat doesn't predigest it, right? It just makes it easier to digest. It breaks it down. But meat is different than cheese. Like cheese, you chew it up, it becomes mush. You chew up meat, it doesn't really become like full mush. You know what I mean? Like cheese does. Can you do a milkshake but no cream, just milk? You can. It's not going to be as fattening, but you can. It's going to taste very similar. Celery juice is highly toxic. It burns the hands of pickers. It literally doesn't do that. Why not just a carrot salad? It does the same thing as indigestible fiber that cleans out the bowels. No, it doesn't. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Celery juice does not burn skin. Those are very silly studies in research. It doesn't make any sense. I don't need to increase my vitamin A. I eat a lot of vitamin A in my diet. Yeah. I don't like eating salads. It's too much strain on the system. My bowels are already cleaned out. I mean, I get fiber. I get grapefruit. I've been eating a grapefruit every day. Grapefruit's very good for your bowels and your bladder. Weird meat like a carnivore. I have the weirdest meats I ate were probably like roadkill deer and skate, which is stingray. Yeah, I haven't really eaten a lot of weird meats. You know, pretty standard meat consumption. I feel like if I ate something weird, I would be able to rattle it off, but I can't. I'm coming up with a blank. Am I Jewish? No. Right. Yeah, the honey has to be mixed with the cheese. Anytime you eat cheese and honey, you mush it up in your mouth. Whether it's with butter or whatever. The enzymes don't predigest the food. They enable digestion of the food, right? Because the cheese doesn't have the enzymes. So the honey replaces the enzymes that are missing in the cheese so your body can utilize the minerals. Not technically, that's not technically a predigestion. Nah, I'm just, you know. I mean, I'm right. That's exactly it. But I mean, it's kind of picking hairs. I understand what you're saying, but I just don't know how mixing honey with cheese would classify as a predigestion in terms of defining it. Technically, because that can be sort of like something like, oh yeah, he said you can predigest the cheese with, you know, pateing it or blending it and making the cheesecake. So I don't know. I just, you know, it's like when you have an audience and a presence and, you know, people are like screenshotting you and clipping you and taking everything you say out of context. It's just like I try to give context to everything, and you know what I'm saying. It's just like it's because then you have people like, oh, well, you said someone said cheese is pre-digested because you make cheesecake, and that's not true. And it's like, okay, well, jeez Louise, like, come on, like, get a life. So I don't know. Maybe it's pointless to try to do that, but I'm sorry to slurp on screen. I feel like this is not age appropriate. It's a little beastly, I must admit. But those oysters are really freaking yummy, man. They're so good. Very juicy. Well, not juicy, but they've got a lot of... Oh, nice. Hold on, I was waiting on this email. They've got a lot of juice. Okay, hold on, I need to check my email here. Okay, how tall and how much, okay, hold on, I'm missing. Yeah, salads are a strength because it's fiber. It's your body can't digest the plant fiber. It's insoluble plant matter. It's insoluble fiber. Carrots are still mostly insoluble fiber. They're roots. So it's vegetation. That's why I drink carrot juice. I can get all the benefits of carrots from carrot juice without having to eat them. How tall and how much? Yeah. So I'm not giving you that in kilograms. I'm American. I'm like 5'8" on a good day, and like 5'8" and a quarter on a good day, and I weigh right now I probably weigh 177. Anything fatty like cheese or milk with honey is going to activate the Randle cycle, create fat stores. Bad idea. Actually, that's not really a concern. It's actually a really good idea. That's the whole point of the primal diet. I have a video coming out tomorrow explaining all this, how the Randle cycle, you can ignore the Randle cycle on the primal diet. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really mean anything. I'm not going to rehash that all today. It's in the video tomorrow. So, yeah. I have not ordered from Frankie's. I would not agree that it is quicker, and I would not agree that it makes it more absorbable than chewing, because if you're chewing it, you're mixing in the saliva and the enzymes to break down and the bacteria to break down the food. So I don't like making cheesecake. I think it takes a long time because you have to get the temperatures right for the cheese and the butter. Then you got to mix them together with the honey. You got to pour it out, and you got to, you know, I don't want to deal with all that. I want to know if switching schools was worth it. Well, I guess you'll find out. Is it Also, not like pâté versus just chewing the meat. Well, no, because that's the meat. The meat, it's not the alkaline problem with chewing the meat. It's the tylen, enzyme in the saliva, which can be for some people probably more than others, a problem for protein absorption. The tylen interferes with the protein absorption, is what Aujana said. So when you're eating cheesecake, that's just mostly fat and minerals that you're after. You're not really after the protein. And the proteins in cheese are different than the proteins in meat too, right? So eating that with the saliva, I mean, Aujana specifically said to mush the cheese and the honey in your mouth until it's a mushy mixture. So he said to chew your cheese and honey until it's mush. He says it's better to chew the meat in 1 or 2 bites, in gulps. Bro trying to create the super soldier. Pounds to kilograms, yes sir. 167 pounds, almost an unc's weight. Yeah, you've got another like 10 pounds to go. I was in need for a raw cheese and ended up buying Grana Padano from Frankie's recently until I'll start buying from Herdshare. It has salt. Is it worth eating at all? I mean, if you're not very strict on the diet and salt doesn't cause you a problem, then yeah, I'd say it's worth eating. Grana Padano cheese is a pretty good cheese. I used to eat it. Pecorino Romano and Padano cheese. Grana Padano I really liked. It was like a better Parmesan, cheaper. So yeah. Let's see here. Hold on, I gotta send a text message. No, I don't want to add a category. I just want to send a text. Okay, there we go. It's me, I'm Bro. Alright, yeah, good for you. Carbonated spring mineral water, good. Only natural. So I already talked about this. I have videos, guys. It's like I spend all this time making these videos and these playlists and nobody watches them. But it's okay. I'll be patient for you, nephew. Borsec and Gerolsteiner. Those are your only two options in the United States, pretty much. Oh no, Borsec, Bajormi, Gerolsteiner. There you go. There's three options. Naturally carbonated spring water is the key, not carbonated spring water. Carbonated spring water uses artificial CO2. That is not good. Not ideal. You can shake it out. You can shake out the carbonation and then drink that. The CO2 will come out. But just buy the still water. Really. I tried about 6 ounces of raw goat milk. I had no problems. Yeah. I mean, if raw goat's milk is working for your system, then yeah. You know, take it to the limit. You know, I mean, you want to play it safe because you've had problems with dairy, that's fine, but, you know, just keep sipping it. San Pellegrino is not Primal approved. I have a video on this. They use artificial carbonation now. They changed it about 3 years ago. They changed the carbonation in San Pellegrino to artificial from natural. So San Pellegrino is artificially carbonated. Not ideal. Eating male animals for testosterone. I think that tracks. I think that's a valid hypothesis. As far as like what really, I don't know. Give it a shot. I think it tracks though. You know, some people say eating predators is good because they're like, you know, they're predatory, like they're the predators. So if you're eating predator, you are what you eat, so to speak. So I'll just send that tomorrow. I don't need to send it tonight. Oh my gosh, that's pretty annoying though. Oh, this is a big one. Have I ever drank raw blood? Yes, it is safe. If it's from an animal that is pristine. What do I mean by pristine? Well, no injections, medications. Oh, that was a close one. I need to almost stab myself. Again, animals need to be pristine if you're going to drink their blood. Okay, that's very important. No injections, medications of any kind. Preferably a good diet, a perfect diet. Like the animal should be perfect. Otherwise, I'm not really into drinking blood, okay? I don't like drinking it. I don't like how it makes me feel. I don't really like the taste. Even with the milk, it's like not like super great. I'm just not into it. I think it's better to consume the blood with milk because It's easier on the stomach. It's easier on the stomach. And at least for me, I've had blood on an empty stomach before. Perfect quality animal, right? It was actually it was a newborn lamb. Pretty much. I mean, it wasn't like fresh out the womb, but it wasn't very big, right? So, yeah, I drank that and it made my stomach kind of hurt. And I also ate some other things like the brain, the heart, and the testicles. This is the first and last time I ate testicles. I'm not into that. Not my thing. But yeah, the blood, I've done it every year at the Primal Diet Conference. You know, we bleed an animal in the milk and then we pass it around to everybody. And it just makes me feel like wired. It makes me feel not good. It's like, I don't like it. So I don't like it. But it's not going to hurt you. There's no handling. And basically you bleed the animal. You just use a fork to whip around the blood as it's coming in. Or if you put it in the milk, it won't congeal. But the blood will congeal. Fresh blood congeals. So if you're buying blood from somewhere and it's not congealed, they've probably put some anticoagulant in it or salt. So be careful of that. Your body will make the test from the food anyways. No, that's true. The male animals may have a stronger effect, whatever that may be. It could be. The ratio of cheese to honey to bee. You want like 2.5 to 2 tablespoons of honey and 1 teaspoon of cheese. You do not want a lot of honey with the cheese. That's very important. Because if you have too much honey, it's going to upset the calcium and phosphorus levels in your blood, which dictate sending nutrients to your teeth. So very little honey, a teaspoon is enough. You just need a little bit. And you mush it up real good. And then you swallow it. But yeah, not a lot of honey. Less honey is better. I've bought several pounds of cow blood from Frankie's. There's no info provided, so I've just been making pancakes or some shit. Yeah, I wouldn't buy blood from Frankie's. It also is frozen, so I wouldn't drink frozen. But I wouldn't spend, what is it, $8 a pint on frozen blood? That's crazy. Milk is just filtered blood, by the way. The lymph vessels and the blood vessels empty into the mammary gland of the cow, or any animal, actually, any mammal. And then the blood is filtered into milk. There's a process where the blood is filtered into milk. So if you are, like, just drink more milk. If you're worried about drinking blood, honestly. Primitive humans only drink blood on occasion, otherwise for hydration as water, since blood has to be very clean. Okay. Definitely would like to get fresh blood like the Maasai tribe. Yeah, I mean, it's worth experiencing, but it's not. It's overrated. It's overrated. I use 2.5 teaspoons of honey for 4 ounces of raw cheese. Well, I got bad news for you. Your teeth are probably going to start falling out. And they're going to get caries. No, I'm joking. That's the max. I'd probably stick to 2 tablespoons for 4 ounces of raw cheese, though. Little less honey. Mine's after killing birds, big ton water. You see it on video. Excuse me. Bless me, as they say. 3 likes, 10 viewers. Wow, guys, that's awesome. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the 3 likes. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you. Yes, bless me. Yes. You speak on calcium to phosphorus ratio. So what cheese do you prefer? 2 teaspoons. 2 teaspoons. The ratio is 2 tablespoons of cheese to 1 teaspoon of honey. So if you're eating 8 tablespoons of cheese, you need 4 teaspoons of honey, which is like a tablespoon, honestly. Calcium to phosphorus ratio. The cheese, it doesn't really, well, okay, so we don't eat salt on this diet. So we have an array of Amish farms who make a special cheese just for us autistic primals. And it's no salt, there's no heat. It's really good, actually. Cheddar and Colby are 2 flavors. Healthfully Farm has a Vonderplantage cheese. Amos Miller has a Fraser cheese. It's like string cheese, but like raw and actually healthy. It's really good. We eat the cheese, with the honey to get the minerals. Otherwise, if we're not eating it with the honey, supposedly it's not digested as well, and we use it to absorb toxins in the gut. Eating lots of beef, do you balance out the methionine with cheese to avoid lethargy? No, actually, I mean, when I eat lots of beef, I never get lethargic. So beef is something you eat for energy. But the calcium to phosphorus ratio comes into play not because of the methionine, whatever it is. It's because the phosphorus comes from the meats. So the calcium comes from the dairy, the phosphorus comes from the meats. So it's important to eat the dairy products to balance out the meat product consumption. Generally, in a nutshell. If you watch my video, I lay this all out. I have a video on this already. I used to do the cheese trains quite a bit, but I've been eating the least amount of cheese since I started the diet since the summer. Honestly, I don't know why. I think maybe my gut has just gotten a little better, but based on my iridology, it's still a little brown down there, brown town, around the pupil. It is what it is. But, and some days the indigestion is worse than others. I'm not exactly sure why. But yeah, I do eat cheese when I have indigestion. I eat cheese, or I try to eat cheese before my meat meals. It's not something I'm overly strict about. It's more so a habit at this point. Not like I really have to remind myself. But no, I'm not eating cheese throughout the day, like every 15 minutes. Maybe once an hour. Would you like to live in the desert like Nevada? I would be. The desert is actually one of the few biomes besides the Arctic I haven't been in yet. I've been in the rainforest. I've been in deciduous forest, temperate forest. I've been in the mountains. I've been in the hills. I've been in the plains. I've been at the beach. The desert is one place I've always wanted to go and have not been yet. Well, no, technically I've been to Las Vegas, but I really wouldn't call that going to the desert. So yeah, I'd like to go to the desert. I don't know about Nevada, maybe New Mexico, maybe California desert. I don't know. Thoughts on going full Tarzan? Not for me. Not for me. I like technology too much. I'm lazy. Is Godus daddy? No. He's a creep. And I think he's about to, some lady is suing YouTube to take his channel down. And she got it before a judge and everything. And I think it's going to get taken down, both of his channels. So that's pretty cool. I always feel good on beef, yeah. I don't necessarily. I need both. I need white and red. I go between the two. Wait, so 2.5 teaspoons of honey to 4 ounces of cheese was valid. No, I said 1 tablespoon of honey would be used for 8 tablespoons of cheese. I don't know how many ounces in cheese in tablespoons that is. Look, a ratio doesn't change. It's 2 tablespoons to 1 teaspoon, okay? So if you multiply the cheese by 4, you multiply the honey by 4. 4 teaspoons of honey, 8 tablespoons of cheese. If you multiply the cheese by 1,000, you have 2,000 tablespoons of cheese. If you multiply 2,000 by 1 teaspoon of honey, you have 2,000. Or no, I'm sorry, 1,000. We're just doing thousands. So 1,000, you have 1,000 tablespoons of cheese and 1,000 teaspoons of honey. Do you understand? Of course, you would convert that to some other metric, which makes sense. But the ratio doesn't change. You take a number, you apply it to the ratio, and then that's your number. You need to pay attention in math class, nephew. This is how this. Ask your teacher. Ask your math teacher. Better to eat chicken over beef if living sedentary lifestyle. No. You need to eat the meat you need to eat. It doesn't matter in your lifestyle. Food processor, it's in my videos. It's a Ninja blender. Godus channel's taken down. I don't know about that. Well, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen based on this lady's video. She's suing YouTube. She's literally suing YouTube because they're violating their terms of service because they're keeping his videos up. So she got in front of a judge. She got all this evidence, presented it in front of a judge. Like, she's literally taking YouTube to court over this. It's happening. Let me see if I can find the channel. I'll put it in the chat. It's pretty interesting. It's some pretty sophisticated lawfare. And let me see. She just posted it the other day. Yeah. Primal Bell, a.k.a. Miss Farage, Godus parody. Yeah. Check it out. I mean, I could almost just play it here. She probably wouldn't mind. There you go. That's the video. It's judge is moving forward. So she's taking YouTube to court to have Godus channels removed. How bad are vegetarian days? I don't know. What does that mean? Vegetarian days? Like days you're vegetarian? It's okay. There's 1 day a week. Usually I won't eat meat. Usually when I take baths I don't eat meat because it's just a little too much for me. He really deserves it, doing crazy stuff, telling people not to drink milk now, which is incredibly disturbing. Oh, he's been doing that for years, I think. I was saying cheese with beef because calcium helps with stress from protein and balances out the high phosphorus content in beef. Right, yeah. It's not cheese with beef. Like, the cheese is not, for that specifically. I mean, it's with honey, it's a good mineral supplement. But the milk is also something that will help balance out, drinking the milk. You're not necessarily eating these foods at the same time. So, it's like you'll eat your meat with some fat, some butter, okay, there's some dairy, and then you drink your milk in the evenings after your meat meal. It's okay if you don't have meat, just do the dairy. Oh, man. It's crazy to see people who say that kind of stuff. It's just really embarrassing. For you, obviously. It's a red flag. You know YouTube is run by Satanists. Why would they take down Goda's boy? Well, because they'll legally be required to do so. That's why. Because they're gonna end up having to, like, because they'll be breaking the law and there will be money involved. So it'll be a business decision at that point. So, how do your herd shares work? Are any of them in eastern Nebraska? No, they're in the Midwest. The one closest to you is in Arkansas, and shipping's cheap. Shipping's $30. Only $30. I've got prices on the, it's the second herd share video. I've got the prices. Prices for all meats range from $4.85 a pound to $9 a pound for sheep. Horse is like $12 a pound. Rabbits are $9 each. It's the most affordable primal standard meat you're going to find anywhere from anybody. So, you know, you send me a donation on Cash App for the form. You get the form. You pay the farmer $20 in your order and $30 shipping, and you get your order. I've heard from people that he sends a lot of meat. Like, you might order a pound and he sends like 2 pounds. You know, I hear he's very generous with his portions. And he's a good guy, and you know, it's good stuff. So yeah, that's it. Didn't Audrina say eating feces is good and he personally gave himself tapeworms to fix his bowel issues? Yes, so he said eating feces was good. He did not do it. He said if he was going to get cancer, he would probably do it. If he had cancer again, he would probably do that. He had a girlfriend who was really into that, I think. I'm on record of, you know, I don't eat feces. I'm not going to eat feces. I'm never going to eat feces. I have never eaten feces. And it's not something I'll do. I've said this before. You can check on my my Primal Diet conference videos, my monologues. I've said it before, and I'm serious. So I'd rather die than eat poop. I don't care if I have cancer. You know, 30 years is long enough. I don't care. I'll die. Release me from this mortal coil, please. But no, life's a gift and all that. So, he didn't give himself a tapeworm. He developed a tapeworm. And he only knew he developed a tapeworm because he ate an onion. He said he was traveling. I think he was in Vietnam or something. He was in Asia somewhere. He had a penchant, a hankering for some onion for some reason. So he ate a whole onion, and then he pooped out a tapeworm. That's what happened. So he was trying to get a tapeworm, and then he got one. He didn't know until it was gone. So, yeah, parasites. You can look up helminthic therapy. Dr. Joel Weinstock did a lot of work on it, and they're actually scrubbing a lot of Joel Weinstock off the internet because of what he did. He gave people whipworm for IBS. People treated their IBS. So, I mean, you can look up helminthic therapy forums. People treat their autoimmune disorders with parasites. So, you know, people infect themselves with parasites, and they're like, oh, I'm better. So, you know, the problem is we live in a too sterile environment, and people also are not healthy enough to have parasites. I don't know if I have parasites. I might. I don't really care. I mean, I'm fine. I don't have anything in my feces. You know, I don't have any pains. I don't have any weird stuff going on. The weirdest thing that happened to me was I got a really bad rash. I got really bad eczema over the summer in July and June. I tell this story all the time. And, you know, some lady at the conference, she was on the diet a long time and told me something Audrina told her for her dog, which was Clay. for a dry skin. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I put the clay from the creek at Burke's Garden on my legs and stuff, and it was 50% better in a day, and it was like almost gone after a week of doing that. I had a little bit hang on, little patches and little scratchies. Like one was behind my right knee for quite a while, actually, and just until a couple weeks ago it was still there, but now it's gone, and yeah, it's all better. So I don't know. I think a lot of what he says is true, but I'm not 100% on him. Yeah, I mean, I think he exaggerates some things for sure. Um, and I think some things are from his experience, which is different because, like, he had his vagus nerve severed. So when he talks about, eating and digestion and some things, I'm not really too, I don't really know if that applies to everybody. Um, I'm not going to get into the specifics because that's going to be too much, but, like when you read about it, or hear about it, you'll understand. One of the big things is fresh meat and frozen meat. So, it's a pretty like fringe autistic, sort of dogma about that. And now I'm not pro frozen meat. I don't buy frozen meat. I'm not going to spend money on frozen meat. But, some people do, or some people that's like all they can get, or they don't want to eat a bunch of chemical meat from the supermarket because it's really bad in the United States. Just how many chemicals they like literally spray chemicals on all the surfaces and the meat. So like you're eating that, but you can get frozen meat from a farm that has no chemicals and it's raised perfectly. So some people weigh that out to them, and that's a personal choice. I'm not taking sides on that personally, I'm not autogenous, okay? So like I'm not going to I'm not autogenous. It doesn't make sense for me to just copy autogenous. There already was an autogenous. I'm not autogenous. So I'm not going to sit here and say though that yeah, frozen meat is good for cellular regeneration. It's not. Frozen meat, if you make it high meat from it, is going to be more detoxifying. Yes, that's true. Fresh meat is going to be more healing. But that doesn't mean that discounts all of the poisons they spray on the meat. Like, that stuff is going into your body. It doesn't. So, but again, I eat fresh meat. Not from the supermarket because I have a good source. I have a good butcher I go to. They don't spray a bunch of chemicals on it, and they use food-grade hydrogen peroxide to clean surfaces and equipment. So, the beef is very clean, and they raise it. No injections or anything. So that's what I eat. And Bell and Evans chicken, which is air chilled. Air chilled chicken is very important. Fermented maca root. Oh no, the fermented okay. So the fermented maca root with the milk was to induce a tapeworm. The maca root with the milk was to induce the tapeworm. It wasn't to get rid of it, if I recall correctly. I wouldn't take ivermectin. I don't take any pharmaceuticals. I don't. I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't take any pharmaceuticals. I mean, unless I was going to have surgery for something that had to be mechanically fixed, I wouldn't take pharmaceuticals. Even then, I wouldn't take the antibiotics they give me. I take the pain stuff, obviously, but yeah, no pharmaceuticals or stuff like that. And I wouldn't take a lot of the pain medicine and things too. Honestly, I would probably just get some like more natural modes of pain relief. Because the anesthesia is one thing, but the pills, no way. That stuff is nasty. Farmer ground beef, bad. No, it's not. Well, what's bad about it is it's homogenized. The problem is it's ground twice. If you get ground beef ground once, it's okay. But if it's ground twice, it's not going to be as good. You need to get it ground once, ideally, not twice. The pink slime generally comes pre-packaged and stuff. If you go to the supermarket and they have the supermarket brand ground beef, that is generally not pink slime because they're grinding it fresh in store at the butcher's. So yeah. I need to get my milk. 1 second. I was muted. Oopsie. Yeah, I think juiced cannabis would be messy. I'm also not really like a fan of that kind of stuff, but I guess if the pain was bad enough, I don't know. Have to cross that bridge when I come to it. I buy my meat from an all organic grocery store. Yeah, well, I mean, your meat's also probably sprayed with a bunch of chemicals. If it's USDA processed, watch my videos on that. I published 2 videos about it, toxic meat and spraying meat. It's pretty eye-opening because you might think, oh yeah, I go to a store and it's nice. I've been to some of the nicest health food stores in California, and their meat was garbage. It gave me a stomachache. It tasted weird. It's really bad in Cali. But like it's kind of not good everywhere. They have the same protocols of spraying lactic acid, parasitic acid, citric acid. There's another one, I forget what it's called though. Hi there, Mr. Money. Hi. Hi, you big sweetie. Hi, big droopy face. Hey. It's just soft. Yes, hi. Hi. Big droopies. Okay. Yeah, so ask the butcher what they spray their meat with. The answer might surprise you. And see where they get their meat processed. The answer might surprise you. So, yeah. Same problem with fresh wild caught fish. No. The regulations are different for fish, I believe. It only applies to certain animals. Like, that's why Amos Miller can sell water buffalo, because it's not regulated by the USDA. So he can sell that fresh. That's pretty much the only fresh meat, organs, and gland Amos Miller can sell. But everything else is frozen, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, fresh wild caught fish, I don't think it's the same. Meat is not sprayed in all countries. Yeah, no, you don't. Yeah, those are just people who like watch a couple Sfarage videos and then they just copy everything he does. You know, you see a lot of them. It's just, kids. It's just silly kids being kids and they don't know anything. So, they're not my dogs. So they eat what their owner feeds them, and then they get scraps in food from me. So I feed them, like, I give them my marrow bones. They have a whole graveyard of marrow bones, and they eat a lot of skins. I give them chicken carcasses, and sometimes if there's meat that's like really cheap, I'll buy it for them as a treat. And I give them the meat I don't eat. I let them eat if milk goes really sour and the cheese goes really sour for like months. I'll give them that too. What else do I give them? Yeah, just like skins and scraps, and I let them lick the butter containers, and I give them my moldy cheese. So they get a pretty fair amount of food. I'd probably say their diet is probably like 60% kibble, 40% bones and meat scraps and other stuff. But they eat a lot of bones. I mean, they really eat them. And these are femur bones of beef. So they really go to town on the bones. They're in pretty good shape. I think they're going to be like 9 years old. And they're a big breed dog, so they're doing pretty good, I think. The trick of dogs is like just keep them out of the vet, don't give them the vaccinations. I don't know the story with these guys, but like dogs, I've known dogs who never went to the vet and got vaccines, and they ate a pretty normie diet, not kibble necessarily, but cooked foods, and they lived pretty long. Yeah, just buy Bell and Evans chicken. You can get Bell and Evans organic chicken thighs for like $7-8 a pound. That's what you should buy. I guarantee you they have it at the health food store. What are you grumping about? Any air chilled chicken, honestly, is going to be fine, because chicken is processed with chlorine. They literally dip the chicken in chlorine water. So that's why you'll see like the chickens are bloated. It's in my videos. Just go watch my meat spraying videos. It tells you all about it. The turkeys went like, they would double a turkey's weight with water by dunking it in water and chemicals. So, yeah, chicken and tomato. It's funny, during college, my friend, I'd go over and party with him, and he's like, yeah, you want to know a good pizza place? Just order their chicken and tomato. Chicken and tomato. I remember he he would always say that. It was pretty funny. And we ate a lot of chicken and tomato pizza, after drinking and stuff. So, good times, those young days, those young, wasted days, evenings. Chicken and tomato. Yeah, chicken and tomato is a great combo. Some avocado. Oh, that's what I forgot. I have an avocado I need to eat. I'll eat it tomorrow. Yeah, Bell and Evans is dope. I mean, all their chicken's vegetarian fed, but they get outside. I mean, they're getting some natural protein, but like, soy doesn't affect me. The soy thing in chicken, it's not really a factor for me. I'm not sensitive to it. I know people who are sensitive to it, but that's not me. So I'm lucky in that regard. My stomach is kind of like a furnace, an iron furnace that just like melts anything. It's pretty good. So yeah, Bell and Evans chicken. Get the organic pack. It's green. The chicken thighs are the cheapest. That's what I would buy if I were you. Cultured butter. I don't know. I've never tried it. I know it's more expensive. I personally am not going to spend money on it like that. So there is this American guy, Solar Youth, who seems pretty chill. He goes into meaning of life and does some good interviews on Raw Meat Guys. Yeah, I've seen some of his videos, but he worships nature a little too much. Too much appeal to nature fallacy. I mean, like I said, he doesn't really know. Like a lot of these young kids, they don't really know what they're talking about. They try to opine on these deep topics, but they just end up being watered down spherage and nature worshippers and appealing to nature fallacy, while like making a money off YouTube, and then talking about like having a family, and then not having a family and traveling to different places. It's just a little. It's kind of silly, you know. It's like I'm not going to take someone seriously if they don't practice what they preach. If you want to say like, oh, you need a family, and tell people about that, but then you're not trying to get a family, like talking about it, or like where's your family? It's kind of weird. And appealing to nature stuff, like nature, worshiping nature is really stupid. The types of people who worship nature, they live in mud huts, and they don't build anything that lasts or is worth keeping around. They live hard lives, uncomfortable lives, and it's not it's really dumb. So yeah, worshiping nature is stupid. It's for stupid people, literally. I'm not saying to not respect nature, and nature's great. I mean, yeah, it's awesome, but to worship it, no, it's a satanic. It's borderline satanic, because this world, this domain, is Satan's realm. Like when Jesus was out in the desert, and the devil comes to him and he says, oh yeah, look at this, you're so thirsty, and look at that, look, all that can be yours, all this can be yours. And it's showing the city and everything, and he's like, yeah, all this can be yours, you just have to just praise me and renounce God, and drink some water, bro. And Jesus is like, nah fam, I'm good. So, but that, in that story, it tells you right there that Satanism at its realm is individualism, like selfishness, and the material. So, striving for what is beyond the material is where you can reach your higher potential as a human, essentially. But if you're just worshiping nature, you're not going to be able to do that. So I don't know. I kind of feel like primitive humans were not. I mean, there's different types of humans, right? And I kind of feel like, hypothesize that, some groups of humans were maybe not meant to live all the same way. You know what I mean? We look around the world today, and you see that in different cultures. Sure, the fundamental aspects of being a human are ever present. Don't get me wrong, and we should treat everybody, with dignity and respect. I'm not saying, don't misunderstand me, but when you look at how people organize their societies and their cultures, there's definitely differences for some reason. And I think that basically humans, in a sense, have a divine spark, you know? And some people, for whatever reason, are maybe not able to actualize that spark. Because humans are the only thing, humans are the created, which are a creator. We're the only life form in this realm of Earth that can do that. So that is the divine spark. Whether you're living in the Amazon rainforest or in the Arctic or the desert plains of the Gobi or Europe or South America or Canada, like, you are able to ideate things in your mind and bring them into fruition in the material world, right? Animals can't do that. We're the only things that can do that. That's the divine spark. Antique Chronological History by Isaac Newton. No, I haven't read that. Antique Tech. Yeah, interesting. I'll have to check that out. Thoughts on the new pyramid? I don't really care. It's probably better than the old pyramid. I know I saw the picture. It's the inverted pyramid with grains to, whatever. So whatever. I don't care. Inuits and Maasais are not dummies, bro. I didn't say they were like really dummies. I just said they're not like on. They're on a different level, you know? They order and structure their societies in different ways. But no, I mean, you kind of are a dummy if you worship nature. You know? In some ways. But that's not really like a human thing. It's just sort of a, I don't know, cultural thing. I don't know how to say it, but it's just when you look at, societies that just worship nature, they're not very advanced, because that's all they know. But I believe human potential is something that can be greater than that. Again, that's just my belief, but I don't know. I am gonna I'm gonna put that title down. I'm gonna look into that. So I'm reading the Jujutsu Kaisen anime, or the manga, and when I'm done with that, I'm finna get into something else. I have some nonfiction I need to read too, but that qualifies as nonfiction. That is something that that would be interesting to read. So thank you. I appreciate that very much. Shouts out John or J Dude. Shouts out J Dude. Thank you. 87,000 words. How about that? Okay. Yeah, I mean, these societies, they don't even have words for other concepts too. So not just greed and conquest, but higher concepts, abstract principles, and things like that. I mean, I'm not, however they live. I'm not saying that's necessarily bad. I just don't think it's, of course, that's me from this standpoint. So yeah, maybe that's not fair, but at the end of the day, that's my bias. I can't really get rid of it. And this is kind of an opinion stream, so, you know, it is what it is. I just feel like humans should strive towards something greater, you know, because we have this potential, this gift, and it's squelched. Yeah. So let me check on the stats here. 8 likes, 7 viewers, 11 minutes average view duration. That's great, guys. Thank you. Appreciate you. What time is it? 10:30 yet? Oh, it's 11. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. I was hoping Jim would show up, but I think he's busy working on the Primal Asylum. What's up in the chat? I just had monster gas right there. That's pretty cool. So everything's moving. When I had the other mic on, people could pick that up. I thought that was pretty funny. So, what's up? What's up, chat? We got 6 people in here. What is everybody doing? What's happening? Wow, that's cool. I'm getting eepy. I suppose we'll go for another 10-15 minutes. Of course, every time I say that, traffic picks up. Like people pop in. Thanks for the likes. 9 likes. Thank you, guys. You're the best. You the best. DJ Khaled. You know what I'm saying? Drinking nasty sour milks. Yeah, it's funny. The milk gets sour before it turns into clabbered milk. I think that's so interesting. It's that change. And then once it's like all soured and gone, it's like clabbered, then it's actually kind of sweet again. I wonder why that is. It's interesting. I was kind of hoping this would be more clabbered, but my furnace was out most of the week. So my house has been like just barely 60 degrees for, you know, most of the week. And the milk obviously stayed fresher because of that. In the summer, it turns into kefir and like, you know, clabbered milk in like 2 days. It's pretty cool. Of course, you get your spit in there and some honey, and it will speed up. So that's good. That could be useful. When it's halfway turned, yeah, it's kind of funny. You know, you do with the honey, it's not so bad. I'm not going to drink all this tonight. I'll probably drink half of this, and then I'll leave the other half for tomorrow. And make a milkshake and just drink the rest of the milk. So, yeah. Dog is so soft. Can't tolerate fresh milk. Yeah, a lot of people have that problem. Well, not a lot, but it's not as uncommon as you might think. Um, I like. I think the clabbered milk is better for you because the fresh milk has more sugar. Um, After you've been on the diet for a few years, it's recommended to switch to completely clabbered milk, not fresh milk so much. I only drink fresh milk at the beginning of the week when I get my fresh milk. And sometimes if I have milk left over from last week, I'm drinking that, and then the fresh milk is turning. So uh-oh. Dog 2. Hmm. What headphones do I use? Well, not because it's more detoxing, but because there's actually a little bit more minerals because of the fermentation process, and it breaks down the sugars, so it's less sugars in the milk. These are I don't know the number on them, but they were like $30, $40 Sony headphones, just over ear with a mic, and they're really great. I've been buying these headphones for, I don't know, Golly. Over 13 years at this point. Yeah, they were just a cheap over-ear headphone. Sony makes really good products in general. They have really good electronics. The speakers and the sound quality I get is amazing for, $30 or whatever they are. Now, I don't know, they've probably gone up. I've had these for probably 5 years now. And yeah, they're great. The sound quality is great. So my view on herpes, I don't know. I don't have that. I've never had those types of symptoms, so I don't know. I mean, I don't really know a lot about it, unfortunately, to tell you. So it might be in the book. There's something in there. Yes. Yeah, there for the price is incredible. The mic is pretty good on it too. I mean, it's not the best, but it gets things done. So, some people are complaining about the audio quality and the microphone on the stream, but I'm like, I'm not going to invest money into a microphone. Maybe now that the monetization is on, I'm going to make like $2 a month on views. Maybe I'll save up, and in 4 years I can buy a nice microphone. But I'm not gonna go out and spend, $60, $80 on a microphone just to use for this. That'd be stupid. I mean, it's not. I mean, this isn't Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Heart Club. This isn't, Nine Inch Nails, The Fragile. This isn't, some other sonic masterpiece of music. You don't need a high res microphone for this kind of stuff. If you can hear my words, and it's not fried, it's not cracking, it's good enough. And I checked the audio yesterday. It's fine. It's totally fine. This is not a professional production. I'm an asshole with a laptop. So, it is what it is. But yeah, I haven't done any much music listening with the headphones recently. My iPod's dead, so I gotta charge it. I don't really like to use my phone too much because I don't have YouTube Premium, and I've got to skip the ads, and it kind of ruins the flow. But I'm not paying for it because I'm cheap. Yeah, the thing is I need a condenser microphone, and the Blue Yeti microphones, I don't know if they have a cheaper condenser microphone. Mm. Yeah, I don't know about the Blue Yeti. I hear mixed things about that. Um, I don't think they're too well made either. Yeah, it's $100. I'm not spending $100 on a mic like that. I need a condenser mic. I mean, they have like $60, $70 condenser mics, so that's what I would get. I don't. It doesn't need to be like a specific brand name. It just needs to be a condenser mic. Because the problem, this microphone and the camera is good, but it just picks up too much noise. It picks up too much noise. I can't program it. Um, I have a Samsung S22 Ultra, and I rather like it. Um, it's pretty good. The camera on it is really nice. Um, I took it through the conservatory when I did the plants, purifying plants and yap, and I got a lot of nice footage with that. I thought it did a really nice job. So yeah, the Samsung S22 is a good deal. I got it for like 200 and something dollars. So still stellar deal. 128 gig memory. So I really like it. I mean, I don't know. I do want to go back to a flip phone. That's one of my goals. Oh wow, I lost a like. Somebody took away a like. That's crazy. Some people today, man. Went from 9 likes to 8 likes. Why are you gonna take a like off? That's crazy. Maybe someone took the like off because I don't have an iPhone. Yeah. Wow. Another like. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it just went back up to 8. Or at least that's what it says on my end. Got some funny. I got some comedians, bro. I got some comedians in the chat. Some serious haters. I wouldn't be surprised if my cyber stalkers watching. It's insane. It's insanity, man. Like, it's like 5 in the morning in Europe, and you're up watching me. It's crazy. That would be crazy. Or maybe one of his minions. That's crazy, dude. 9 likes. There we go. Back to basics. Back to normal. Back to baseline. Yeah, it's a long story. Don't worry about it. It's pretty funny, honestly. Yes, 9 and 9. Oh, 7 and 9. That's okay. Well, thanks for joining in. I don't know. The chat's pretty dead, so I'm probably going to cut it soon. Now I'm really going to cut it soon because I said that 15 minutes ago, and now it's been 15 minutes. So we're going to give it another 3 minutes, I guess. And, yeah. Excuse me. I apologize. That was barbaric. That was very unbecoming of me. I need to... There we go. I kept it down. Kept that one down. Yeah. Newbie app for Android for YouTube. New pipe. What'd I do with the phone? Where I just had it. Oh, there it is. New pipe. Let me check it out. Thanks for putting me on that. That looks really sus. I'm not installing that on my phone. It's a video downloader. Data isn't encrypted. Yikes. No thanks. YT Advanced app. I never heard that one. Old pipe. New pipe, old pipe. Okay. You guys got your pipes. You got your pipe people. Good for you. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just play the music on YouTube. Not something I want to spend money on. I grew up in the days of you get CDs from the library, you take them home, you burn them onto your computer, and then you buy blank CDs at Staples, and then you put the music onto blank CDs. That's what I come from. Also borrowing friends' CDs and just buying CDs if you really liked them. I have so many CDs that are just like not great, but I do have quite a few gems. I've showed them off here before. Yeah, but then I got into in Minecraft. I really got into my Minecraft character would do all this. He would pirate a lot of music, and movies and things. And yeah, he downloaded like 120 gigabytes. No, actually, it was like 160 gigabytes of music, and he'd put them on his 120 gigabyte little Minecraft iPod Classic, and he was really spoiled listening to music that way because you could just get it for free instantly, and it was easy. It was digital. It was there, so yeah, that's what my Minecraft character used to do. F-Droid, what is that? On the Play Store? I gotta download that. F-Droid. It must be something I have to download online and put on your phone, huh? The cold milk hurts your stomach because it's too much for you. Ooh, FLAC. Nice, yeah. FLAC files are cool. Yeah, I don't really know if I like to do that with my phones. I'm not really a technical person like that. The longest I fermented cream was like 3 months, and it turned into cream cheese. It was really good. I really wanted to get a bagel. I should have got a bagel and bageled it up. But yeah, um, cream will eventually turn into cheese if you let it sit for like a couple months, and it's really tasty. It's really good. Um, yeah, the cream just cheeses up, you know. I see. I see. I am a music. Well, I used to be more of a music enthusiast. Clabber be tasting cheesy, yeah. 5 liters of cream for 100 pounds. Mm, that's kind of expensive because I can get a gallon of cream for $40. Butter will turn into cheese over time. Yes, I've been using it since 2016. Interesting. I want to take your word for it, but I think you might be a gang stalker and trying to get me to open up my information to an open source platform and take my information. So I'm going to have to proceed with caution. No offense. Yeah, I'll have to read their security documentation later. I'm not do that right now. I'm not going to do that right now. No, the cream cheese doesn't function like a cream cheese. It's a soft cheese. It's just like cream cheese. You put it on a bagel and enjoy that. That's what I would do. If I made cream cheese again, I would eat bagels. I'd get some bagels. That's what I would do. Just a plain bagel, you know? Just a regular plain bagel. That would be amazing. You put like a plain bagel, cream cheese, you put some tuna on there. Forget about it. Oh my gosh, that'd be so yummy. Mm. Frick. It's got me wanting to make cream cheese now. Maybe I'll do that. Oh no, I'm mostly being facetious. I know you're probably I'm not that psycho and paranoid. Um, I'm just making a joke, but I'm glad you can laugh at it. Um, Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I'll definitely look into that because if I can do the YouTube pipe, that would be pretty dope, low key. Um, Raw bread sources, I do not. You can make it yourself. You can buy bread makers really cheap at the thrift store or all used online, $10, $20, and you can make your own bread. It's really easy. They do it. You just add the ingredients in the mixer bowl. You close it. You press the button, and it makes the bread. And you can make really good bread. Very easy. So, yeah, making your own bread is not hard to do. The So the non-homogeneous von der Planitz cheese. There's the von der Planitz cheese, which is the hard cheese, and then they have soft cheese. The soft cheese is fine. It's just their milk that's made into cheese, and I hear it's fine to eat. Raw bread, hell yeah, brother. So, yeah, I think everything from Healthfully Farm is good. I haven't had that cheese, but I trust Adam. I know their quality. I know people who do order it, and they order it more than once, so it's got to be worth ordering. Um, Healthfully Farm is good to support. They always need help on the farm if you're into that sort of thing. And Adam's a great guy. He knows what he's doing. He's about it. Adam is about it. Well, yeah, I mean, so all bread needs to be cooked, buddy. Like, that's. If that wasn't clear, you have to cook bread to make bread. There's no raw bread. It's no salt. No salt is the. No salt's the key. But even a little bit of salt in the bread, like, there's, like, not that much salt in bread anyway. I don't really think it's going to be an issue, especially if you're not sensitive to salt. You know, because there's not even that much salt in bread. So, am I strong? Um, I can do like at least 5 handstand push-ups. I can curl 145 pounds, and I could probably bench 200. My chest is honestly a little weaker. According to AI, I should be able to bench 250, 270 pounds. If my chest was as strong as my shoulders and my biceps, I should be able to bench 250 pounds. So, something I'd like to do, and I need to lock in, is to train my chest to bench 250 pounds. I think that'd be pretty cool. I might get into that. I might start doing that. I've been doing push-ups on a decline and resting and holding, and I think it's helping my chest. I feel it. So, yeah, I mean, I'd say for my size, I'm definitely strong. I'm definitely very formidable for my size. It would be hard. I'm not bragging too much, but it would honestly be hard to find someone who's the same proportions as me that would be as strong as me. You can't regrow arms in this diet. Get a life. Unpasteurized bread. Calisthenics are good. Building real strength and power is about time under tension. It's not necessarily about how much weight you can lift or move in one position. Dynamic and static flexibility, along with strength and power, are all parts of the puzzle as well. My stamina? Do you mean like my cardio? I don't know how my cardio is, but honestly, every time there's a winter and then a spring and I go for a bike ride, I'm always pretty surprised at how good my cardio is. But it really isn't that great. I mean, I go for walks and stuff. I don't run or jog. And I didn't even ride my bike all but one time last spring. I didn't ride it all season, so, my cardio definitely needs some work, but I mean, I was working outside all day in the summer, I'd wake up and then I'd go trim hedges or whatever, and then I'd go work the farmer's market. It was a full 9-10 hours a day of work. I saw this guy on IG that trains his body just by flexing his body in intense intervals. Yes, isometrics. That's how isometrics work. I used to do the same thing in karate. It's called kata. It was the Sanshin kata, and it's one of the oldest forms in all of martial arts, and it comprises of just like a stance and small half steps, and you start like this and you come forward, and then you're tense and you're constantly tensing and breathing throughout another step, and then you're just doing that pretty much, and then you end with uchi mawashi, and then that. So yeah, isometrics are great for the body. It's kind of like calisthenics without weight, pretty much. That's yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know what they would be called in qigong, but yeah, it's a very similar. You turn your feet slightly inward and stagger them, and then you take half steps while brushing the ground with your feet. Yeah, it comes from kung fu. It comes from Shaolin martial arts. It's like 1,000 years old or whatever. So it was like one of the first kata and forms that had been passed down from China, the mountains of China, to Japan. So yeah, it's a very old form. It's a good one. I used to do it a lot. I think it's very important. It's probably one of the most important kata for training, because you're exercising and training the tension and release of the breath and contact. So when you hit something or someone, you should exhale, and your body should be empty of air. Like, you know, that's why people go like shh, 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 shh when they strike. So like shh, your body should be, you're exhaling and you're tensing, and that's how you get power, but also stability to drive through and like really mess somebody up. And that's what that kata trains, but not just in the arms, but like the whole body. So you're getting the tension throughout the whole body. Tension and release, tension and release. That's important, and that's one of the foundations of like martial arts is tension and release. And then rotation is the another key component. I do not eat tomato skins. The seeds are not a problem because you can't really digest them. They just come out the other end. I don't worry about getting them out. Stretching and fascia stuff because of Revive mouthguard. Yeah, I need to do more stretching. I used to do my splits here, straddle splits, and I should probably get back into that low key. That's what this is for. This is a, oh, I lost it. This is a bicycle inner tube that I cut, and I made loopies with it. So these would go around my feet, and then I would stretch my legs out, and that keeps the legs back. So then I can bend forward and pancake, stretch out the hips and the abdomen along with the legs. I also started, I bought these toe spacers. I've been wearing those. And I have ankle weights. All summer, I wore ankle weights. Like everywhere I went, I wore ankle weights. So that helped my legs. I need to do a video on that. But yeah, I should do more stretching and myo and release and myofunctional exercises with the Revive, honestly. I really like the Revive. I gave it a break last night because I was getting pains in my upper palate. My gum was kind of irritated. But the R3 is really good. It's very durable. And yeah, it doesn't really cut into the gums too much. It stays on the teeth mostly. I like that. And yeah, I like it. So if you're into that, if you're into getting that, I would buy one. I would buy one. 11:30. Good. Jeez Louise. Yeah, it's good for braces. I had braces as well, only for a year, thank goodness. But yeah, the Revive will be a help. Yeah, see, every time I'm like, I'm gonna call it a night, people show up and the chat pops off. It's cruel. I signed up for it. I'm not complaining. It is what it is. Got these sweet bubs here, taking up my whole couch. Are you gonna move when I go to watch anime? I need to watch some Hellsing, I think. Wind down before I go to bed. So yeah, anyway, I am gonna call it. So thank you. I'm gonna stream tomorrow night too. So you know, come by tomorrow night and hang out for a little bit. I guess I'll be here answering questions and hanging out. Be eating a lot of the same stuff. So anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate the likes and the views and your questions. So I hope you all have a good rest of your night, and I will see you tomorrow if you'll be there, roughly the same time. Good night.